So, good morning, everyone, again, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I'm really excited to be featuring a really special trip, Baja, Mexico. I had the privilege of going on this trip last year, and so I'm really excited to share some of the photos from my experience and have Brian here on the call, who I'll introduce shortly. Um, but just wanted to take a second for those who don't maybe know about Discover Corps, and this is your first time engaging with us. We've been operating our trips for over a decade, and we actually work in 20 different countries. So we love these opportunities to dive a little bit deeper into our certain trips and destinations, giving, real hands-on experiences and being able to answer any of your questions, which we'll have a Q&A at the end. So again, like our mission and vision at Discover Corps is to really design itineraries that impact the communities and wildlife in a positive way. And our hand-selected partnerships really provide access to inspiring initiatives that are happening all around the world. And we'll be looking at Baja today. So just to reintroduce myself, I'll be today's host. My name's Lynn. I'm a travel specialist at Discover Corps, which means I focus more on the sales side, fitting you into the right itinerary, making sure you have all of those details before you select a trip. But I am Canadian originally. I currently live in Costa Rica, have been here since 2018, so over 6 years. And I've had the fortunate opportunity to travel around the world since I was very young, from India, Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, um, Guatemala, all places around the world. But more recently with Discover Corps to Peru, Baja, Alaska, um, and really excited to be talking about Baja today. So I'm going to hand it over to Layla to let her introduce herself. So Layla, take it away.
Hi, I'm Layla. I am the coordinator for Baja, which means if and when you sign up for the trip, I'll be the one who's talking to you about the itinerary before you go and any questions you may have. So wealth of knowledge. And I am usually based out of Oregon, originally from Los Angeles, but I'm currently working out of the Maldives. So kind of traveling around at the moment. That's me.
I know Layla's always traveling around the world, was just in Sri Lanka too. So lots of travel enthusiasts on the team here at Discover Corps. And Brian, please introduce yourself and yeah, pleasure to have you on the call with us today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I'm super excited to speak to everyone today about Baja. I am here in Todos Santos, where I've been for the last almost 25 years now. And I'm originally from Louisiana, but I'm married a Mexican, and here we are to tell the story. So we love working here with all the people coming Baja and sharing some of the really unique and amazing experiences we have here. We certainly hope to see some of you here soon.
Amazing, amazing, Brian. I've had the pleasure of meeting Brian, as I mentioned last year, and it's just so important when we get these opportunities to experience these trips in real life. It's just incredible. I've spent a lot of time chatting with Layla about the experience and everything, and really excited to dive deeper into it now. So I just wanted to kind of start with talking about the arrival and departure. People arrive and depart from Cabo San Lucas. This is often a common question that we get when discussing this trip. So maybe Brian, can you explain to us how far the drive is from La Paz and what they can expect on their first day?
Sure. Well, when they arrive, they'll go to transportation umbrella number 10 at the Cabo Airport, and your guide will be there with the Discover Corps sign. So go with him or her. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from the Cabo Airport to La Paz. It's super easy. It's on 4-lane highway most of the way. And a lot of it is really quite beautiful. For the first part, you cross through the desert, so you really get that sense of being in the desert. And then it's along the Pacific coastline. So it's really dramatic and beautiful. And you really get the feeling of what Baja is, which is the desert going down into the ocean, which makes it so unique and so beautiful. And then we get to the hotel, which is right on the main plaza in La Paz. It's a great location, easy walking distance to the Malecon, great restaurants. Get settled into the hotel and go out for a wonderful welcome dinner where your guide will really be telling you about the trip and all the experiences to come.
Yeah, exactly. No, I loved the location of the hotel. It was, yeah, just great location and an opportunity to go around and see the markets as well. I really, really enjoyed it. Um, and can you describe a typical day on this 6 day, 5 night trip? Some people have called Baja the Galapagos of the North. And so would love to hear, about the different wildlife and opportunities that one will see on this trip.
Well, sure. Well, I don't know if we have a typical day on this trip, but I can certainly
That's
describe
true.
some of the days on this trip. So, Jacques Cousteau famously called it the Galapagos of the North. And the reason he did that is a lot of the same species that you go to the Galapagos to see are right here in Baja. In fact, we have blue-footed booby colonies right here, and you'll see them on your way to and from the island. And we actually have the world's largest blue-footed booby colony right here in the Sea of Cortez. So obviously the Galapagos boobies they got a much better PR firm. They really got the word out there much more. But right here in Baja we see, and we also have not only the blue-footed boobies, but red-footed boobies and brown-footed boobies as well. One of the amazing things for me in Baja is it's not really just observing the wildlife. You get to engage with the wildlife, which I personally find super thrilling. And even after all of these years, I still find it so exciting and so wonderful. And one of those species is the sea lions at the permanent sea lion colony at Los Islotes. So the first couple of the first, I guess the first part of the trip is on Isla Espiritu Santo at the camp there. And one of the highlights is going to Los Islotes to swim with the sea lion puppies. And this just pure joy. They are just all about joy, all about having fun. And you can never play with them as long as they want to play with you. We are humans. We get exhausted long before the sea lion puppies do. But it's super fun. They'll nibble on your fins, they'll pull on your wetsuit zipper, and they'll look you in the eye. And you really have this opportunity to have this engagement with this other species again. So it's like it's really super engaged, super involved in a way that's just really kind of it's magical. It's really super magical. And also while we're out, we often see sea turtles. You can also swim with the sea turtles. They're reptiles, so you don't get quite the same level of interaction that you get with the sea lions. But they're still just so cool and so amazing. And then while we're in the Sea of Cortez, the possibilities for what we can see are so huge. The Sea of Cortez is home to 70% of the world's cetacean species, so the whale species. So we may see dolphins, humpback whales, gray whales, fin whales, pilot whales, all kinds of species like that. We often see the mobile rays, and often you'll hear them before you actually see them. You'll be in the camp and you hear this flap, flap, flap. And it's the mobile rays, they swim and they jump, they swim and they jump. It's just thrilling. And of course, we have just an amazing number of bird species, lots of endemic bird species. So it's really marvelous. So typical, no, super fun and exciting, yes. And I think one of the things we also have is when we come back, we go swimming with the whale sharks. And the whale sharks, as everyone probably knows, is the largest fish in the sea. In other words, it is a whale of a shark. And they are huge, and it's just amazing. They have these beautiful spots, and they have these huge gills where they're just washing in, all the water. They take in all the water and get all the plankton, and then when they take the nutrients, the rest of it goes out. So it's a remarkable experience just to be kind of like in the same space with them and feel that presence and feel that. The whale sharks are fish. They do not really engage with you like the marine mammals do, but it's a very cool experience.
No, I mean, before going on this trip, I thought the whale sharks would be the highlight experience, and it absolutely was amazing. But the interaction with the sea lions were just so playful. Like they really are puppies. I have this memory of this one who he had like picked off a little piece of coral and was like flipping it and playing it and almost like throwing it at me. And it just felt so, magical to have that kind of interaction with wildlife. I really didn't expect it. And I remember afterwards, my husband said to me, like, did you notice the fish? Like, it was so incredible watching the sea lions play. But then afterwards, he was like, there was so much beautiful, like, fish and coral and everything around us. But they're just so pleasantly distracting and engaging. It was It was incredible. So
Yeah,
absolutely, just so much to see. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say where Los Islotes, where the sea lion colony is one of the best snorkeling spots in this part of Baja. So
Yeah.
it's super rich with fish and you know, all kinds of amazing things. And then the sea lions, of course, like to play with with all the fish and stuff like that. So you get super engaged. So yeah, so if you can take your mind and take your playfulness away from the sea lions for a little bit, the snorkeling is astounding. There's over 870 species
Absolutely.
of fish in the Sea
Wow.
of Cortez, and we see a lot of them at Los Islotes and around the camps.
Yeah, just schools of such colorful fish and massive amounts too with yeah, it's a magical experience. And for those, who don't know the Isla Espiritu, like what other things make it so special? Why is this a highlight for many travelers, this opportunity to stay on this island?
Isla Espiritu Santo is a deserted desert island. There are no permanent structures of any sort. So when you're out there, it's just you and nature. And this is an amazing opportunity to really immerse yourself. It's part of a national marine park and it's part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's just really, you can see from the colors here, the geology of it. You have the volcanic formation. The geology is absolutely astounding. And then you just have this beautiful juxtaposition of the red rocks with the green uh, flora, and the beautiful blue, the Sea of Cortez. And and just being able to be on the beach and spend the night out there, for me, that's really some of the most magical times on the island are like, we have happy hour starting like around 5 o'clock and just that wind down. And it's just
Mm.
the sky is so beautiful, the color so beautiful, and you see the pelicans are out there diving for their dinner, and the gulls are over here doing their stuff. Uh,
Did we lose you, Brian? I'm not sure if it was me or oh, well,
I think
we'll wait
she
for Brian
was
to
paused. Yeah.
she froze. Okay, okay. I wasn't sure for a second. I thought it might be my internet. Um,
No,
well,
it's
I'll
fine.
wait for Brian to come back. But here's some photos actually that I took just with my phone. This is the group that we went with. It's a family of four that I traveled with. They've had been to, or mother and daughter had been to Cuba with us. They really wanted to do this trip. Couldn't accommodate the first year they wanted to go for their dates, but the following year we were able to make some special dates for their family, and I got to join them with my husband. So this is us as a group here, and this is a hike that we were able to do. Wasn't too strenuous, maybe about a 20-minute hike. This is where we parked the boat. We just walked in, and then hiked up to this lake area. Depending on the season, this sometimes doesn't exist. Obviously, desert area. But we had a really great opportunity to see it full, and there was lots of bird species in this area and everything. Also, this uh, area of Baja has a large history of like pearl mining as well. So it's just kind of a magical place, and you really understand why it is such a sought after destination after going here. So I'll let Brian join in a second, but we can speak to this question having been on it. But we get a lot of questions on like how suitable is this for what, audience or what age. Really, this trip is suitable for as little as 6 years old and up. Just knowing that there's a lot of swimming and physical activity. So depending on a child's ability to engage in the water. Of course, life jackets on all of the excursions when it comes to the sea lions and whale sharks will be used. But just in general, I would say this trip is very active in the sense that we're going to be moving around on a boat a lot. We're going to be swimming a lot, and it's 6 days, 5 nights. So it goes by pretty quickly, but we keep it pretty active. So depending on everybody's activity level. Of course, if you're getting tired, you can go sit in the boat and just relax. Or if there's an afternoon where anyone can go and kind of do what they wish. So there's stand-up paddle boards and kayaks available on the campsite right there at your access. So if you prefer to just sit and read a book and relax in your tent or something like that, or go for a light walk, there's that option. But you also have this option to take it a little bit further and go kayaking and stand up paddleboarding. And of course, the guide will be there to give any recommendations on wind and weather and making sure that you travel safely. But it is a very active itinerary, but very much family friendly. And we've had multi-generations go on this trip. So grandmother, kid, grandkids, and it's a really unique experience for you to be able to do together. So this is again some all photos that I took on my trip, and here's my guide Hugo showcasing the history of the clams and the pearls that you could find on this. Unfortunately, it's been like um, overdone, so you can't find many pearls in this area nowadays. But it used to be filled with this history, and so there's the opportunity to really see all of these different kind of skeletons and shells as you're looking at the island. It really is just so rich in biodiversity. But what makes it so beautiful is having a guide like Hugo here, who's locally from the area, has been doing trips in this region for many, many years. And that is what we love at Discover Corps is employing these local guides and for them to be able to showcase their home and showcase all of their knowledge. A lot of these, including Hugo, has a history in biology, and so knowing all of the bird names and species and really able to teach and engage while also, seeing some of the fun sights. So another question that we get, of course, is when is the best time to travel? This is a unique destination for us because we actually only do it for the best season, right? So we run our trips from November through April. This is when you have the best opportunity to see all of those wildlife that we've been mentioning, like the whale sharks, whales in general. Right when I arrived on that 2.5 hour drive to La Paz, we already started to see whales jumping in the ocean. And from our hotel, you could also see it. It was just incredible. And I went in December just for those who might be wondering. But we do run this trip November through April, and we consider all of those months, a great opportunity and time to see the wildlife. We always, remind people that we depend on the wildlife to see, but the wildlife does not depend on us. So we obviously ask for anyone going into this trip to be patient and understanding that we are dealing with wildlife. In the history of running these trips, to be very honest with everyone, there has been one time where we weren't able to see the whale sharks. And that was because of a temperature change, a sudden change in temperature essentially affected the water and the whale sharks left the bay. If there's less than 5 whale sharks in the bay, we're not able to go out and swim with them. So we were able to do another activity going out on the boat, seeing other kinds of wildlife, which was amazing. And I think the group thoroughly enjoyed it. But we want to recognize that there is this possibility. Again, in all the years we've run the trip, it's only happened once. But we want to make sure that everyone knows that there is a slight possibility. But luckily, we really do keep these dates in the opportunity to really see the most wildlife. And so I know Ryan briefly mentioned this, experience of swimming with the whale sharks. And it's sad because these photos do not do it justice. And this one in this photo is definitely a baby. And the ones that we usually swim with are babies. By babies, they're massive beings, absolutely huge. And we have the opportunity to get right in the water with them. And so we have not only our Discover Corps guide, but we have an actual guide who's trained in swimming with you, so they'll get in the water. But also we have um, our captain who is an expert in finding them, making sure that he's following along with the boat to make the experience as comfortable as possible, and also somebody else on the boat with us who's like a researcher. His name's Pablo. He's been researching whale sharks in the area for over 20 years. He originally actually was researching the large manta rays, and he tells, on the experience that uh, the manta rays stopped coming to the bay for many years. And so he had to switch his research topic so that he could continue to live and hopefully wait for these manta rays to come back and continue to do all of the photo analysis and everything that he was doing. And so he switched to whale sharks. So he's on the boat with us, giving us all of this amazing information. It really is a behind the scenes kind of approach. It's not a typical, I feel like, guide that you get, somebody who really, really knows what he's talking about, and giving us that opportunity to learn all questions that you might have about these beautiful beings. And then, of course, get into the water with them. If they're feeding, they usually stay pretty like stable in one place. So you're really able to get up close, analyze them. If they're looking for food, it means you're swimming alongside of them. So that can be a little bit of a adrenaline experience because they're so big and you want to keep up with them. But of course, the person in the water with you does this for a living. So they're dragging you along, making sure that you get as up close and personal as you can, safely. And it's just really, really a unique and incredible experience. And even from the boat, just being so close to them and seeing them is exceptional. So I'm just gonna check here, make sure that Brian's not trying to get on with me here. Oh, electricity went out. She'll try to come back. Okay. Well, I will continue on as we go. One of the highlight items on this itinerary is a cooking class. This is Chef Iker. He is permanently at the hotel that we stay at in Todos Santos, which is actually owned by Brian, who's on the call with us. It's a sustainable eco lodge, and we have some photos here shortly to talk about it. But this on our trip, surprisingly, when we at the end of our trip kind of did a around the table, what was your favorite part of the trip? And we all did an activity where we drew it. Many people drew this experience with Chef Iker because he is just so passionate. He has such a unique history, life history. But he was a lawyer, a DJ, and now he's a chef, and he really incorporates all of that into the experience. And so you have this opportunity to make some of the dishes that you've already been experiencing. This happens on one of our last night on this itinerary. And so I don't want to give away too much because part of it is experiencing it for yourself, but it really is an amazing opportunity to learn about local Mexican cuisine, have a margarita or two as well, and get to know Chef Iker and his passion for cooking and cuisine. And he really is just a really fun person to be around and is a highlight for many of our travelers. These are just a couple of photos from the trip, just to give you some idea again of this Baja cuisine and the drinks and the beach. It really is a fun, fun, fun place to explore. Um, Another highlight for this trip is the opportunity to go shopping in Todos Santos. So Todos Santos has a really rich history of like art galleries and artisans. You see, these are some photos I also took of the shops. There's just so much to see, the cobble roads, walking around, great opportunities to stop for a drink, food, snacks, coffee, etc. I wish Brian was here because I remember her telling me, I think like per capita, they have like more art galleries than anywhere else in the world or something like that. It's a really significant amount of artists come, and there really is something magical about Baja, its colors, the types of sunsets. I have a photo shortly to showcase one of the best sunsets I've ever seen in my life. And I think that attracts a lot of artisans to come here and explore their art and have a place to also sell it to the tourists that come here. But it really is a beautiful town, really safe, really close to the water as well. And so just a great opportunity to have an afternoon off if you'd like and shop around and explore the nearby shops. So now we'll hand it off to Layla to talk a little bit about kind of what more of the logistics side of things, um, around, what we offer at Discover Corps when it comes to, our service and everything. So I'll hand it off to you, Layla.
Sure. So as I said, I'll be the one who will speak to the travelers before going to go over the itinerary and to go over any questions. But once you arrive into Baja, everything is really included. So the guide will meet you at the airport, as Brian said, with a Discover Corps sign so you can identify them right away. They'll also usually be wearing a Discover Corps t-shirt. So they will take you to that first accommodation, and same thing at the end of the trip. They will take you from the final accommodation back to the airport. This is, of course, if you are flying within that window that we request. If you arrive early, we do have you book your own accommodation if you're arriving a day or two early, and you'll have to get yourself to that accommodation. But again, it is very easy, and I would walk you through that. Um, and some people do they want to stay later in Baja because it is so beautiful. So that is completely up to you. Um, and then like I said, all the accommodations are included. So there is glamping, which is usually the highlight of everyone's trip. And then so there you go. Yes, some pictures of the glamping. Um, oh, Brian is back, it seems, perhaps. But so glamping is on the island. So as you see in these photos, you'll have mattresses. There is a bathroom situation, flushable toilet. So it's very, very nice glamping. Meals are also all included in this trip. A little bit unique to the Baja trip is on the island and the glamping experience, you'll have a happy hour. So I think Brian mentioned this. You get to relax at the end of the day, see the sunset, have a drink or two, or a soda or water, whatever you prefer. And then as well during the cooking class, you'll have some margaritas. So to really get that Baja Mexican experience. Hi, Brian. I don't know
Hi,
if you want to
Brian.
speak a little bit to the
Apologies for the
glamping on
technical
the
difficulties
island.
there.
No
It
worries.
happens.
Luckily, I've been on this trip, so I got to answer my own questions. It was
Awesome.
great.
Well, it sounds like you're my favorite part of the day, happy hour. So
Happy hour.
Yes,
Mine too.
exactly.
Yeah, we're just talking a
Brian,
little bit about the accommodations.
mhm.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Layla.
No, 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 all
Mhm.
good. Yeah, Brian, if you wanted to speak a little bit about the glamping on the island and how that accommodation is.
sure. Well, we have they're large dome tents, so they're 6 feet tall. So most people can stand up in them, not everyone. They're 10 by 10, so they're roomy in there. And we have real beds, the same beds that I use at home. Just really nice beds, really nice mattresses, really comfortable linens, really great pillows, towels for beach and bath. There's chairs for you to sit outside. There's a little rug outside. We have a little place, a little basin where you can rinse the sand off your feet before you get into bed, so you're not tracking the sand all over your tent. And one of my favorite features of the tents is if you want to, you can take the fly off at night, and you can see just like the whole big Milky Way in the sky. And really, that's one of the joys for me of being out on the island, is that just no light pollution, and you can really see the big skies. If you want to kind of watch that all night, or just fall asleep with that over you, you have that option. So also in the camp we have, I'm not sure if y'all have already gone over this part, you can stop me. We have a large dining tent, so it's a really large shade where we have the dining tables and chairs. There's sofas and chairs. We have a little library. We have games. So people always, is there a place during the day where I can be out of the shade? There's always a place where you can be out of the sun in the shade. So always protected. Same on the boats as well. So it's a really comfortable area. There are 2 compost toilet cabanas and 2 sun shower cabanas. I designed the compost toilet cabanas.
Did
This had
you?
enough to
No
the
way.
women. And the men were just like, whatever, go.
They are designed by a woman. You can
Yeah,
tell.
and
You're like, Quite nice.
My contribution to world architecture is the compost toilet cabana in Isla Espiritu Santo. So they're super comfortable. They have really nice toilet seats. There's a place to hang your stuff. There's really nice toilet paper. They're private. You can lock the door. So they're very comfortable. I personally saw to that. I was like, and then the sun showers. The sun showers are it's a plastic bath that's been heated by the sun. So you just stand there and then the nozzle comes out. So this is for really getting the big chunks off. If you need to sing an opera, you want to wait until you get home. But if you just want to sing a little ditty, that's just perfect for the sun shower cabanas. And again, they're very private. We provide biodegradable soap and shampoo. So all good there.
Yeah, amazing. No, I had such an amazing time, and the water is right there too. So just like listening to the water as you're sleeping, and being able to just watch these sunsets those nights were incredible. And I was very surprised with the level of comfort of the beds and the duvets and the sheets and everything. It really is glamping. So thank you for those details.
And that for me is part of the luxury of the experience, is that you can just wake up and just walk a few steps and just dive right in the ocean. It's just
Exactly. And we haven't really talked about, your property and Los Colibris. So maybe now you could kind of introduce us. This is some photos that I had taken on our trip there as well.
So yeah, so Los Colibris Casitas is up on a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean, 70 miles of undeveloped beach, a freshwater lagoon, and a palm oasis. So our town of Todos Santos is a true desert oasis. It is a watering hole in the desert. And that's why you see this relative lushness in the desert. And that's one of the things that makes Todos Santos such a wonderful place. So Los Colibris, we are all about, Todos Santos is an artist colony. So all over our property, you will see art by us, our friends, our neighbors, everybody. If you want to contribute, you'll see little contributions all throughout the gardens. Some guests like to do little mosaics, some leave their artworks or paint little stuff. It's just it's a continual work in progress. So it's and it's everything. All of the rooms have spectacular views. You don't have to ask for the room spectacular view. If you have a room at Los Colibris, that's just the way it comes. And we also have a water filtration system, so we don't have any single-use plastics of any kind. I'm actually chairman of the board of Alianza Cero Basura, the zero waste movement of Todos Santos and Pescadero. So we do our best to keep waste to an absolute minimum, and the waste that we do produce, we try and make sure that the vast majority gets repurposed and finds new life.
Such a beautiful, and I love how every space on the property has its own character as well. And absolutely the views. I mean, you can kind of see here in the window, even of the door, like what views you have, like that's what it looks like. It's just so amazing. And definitely like from my bed, I could watch whales like jumping from the ocean, which was just so magical.
Them too. I mean, I think for me, it's like, for me, one of the most amazing things is you can just be laying in your bed and you'll hear that whoosh, right? The blow from the whales. And then when we have the humpbacks, the males with the whale tail smack down, so you can hear it just go boom, and then you'll hear the answer boom, and that'll go on for half an hour. So again, just all in Baja, you just get that integration with nature just being here. And then of course, in Baja, we have over 430 species of birds, and we've spotted 150 of them just here at Los Colibris. So just sitting on your terrace or your rooftop terrace or your patio, see lots of hummingbirds, lots of endemic species. It's really, nice to be immersed in nature here.
Yeah, I know why you called it Los Colibris, because all of the flowers in the entrance, and you see them everywhere, all of the birds. It's so beautiful. And just wanted to mention that this photo that I took of my husband here is just a walk away from the property. So this is kind of the view from the top, and you can just walk down. And so it's very, very close to get right up.
And I'll also add that sometimes of the year, 7 of the world's 8 turtle species nest on the beaches of Baja. And at certain times of year, we have turtle releases. So if it happens when the Discover Corps people are here, we just drop everything and run down
Here
and
we go.
do the turtle releases. So it's super fun, and it's generally it's the olive ridley turtles, and we protect them so that they're not predated before they get into the water, and you get to name them, and you have your races, and it's a really fun, wonderful experience.
So fun. We didn't get to see the hatchlings, but we did one night go out on the boat just to do like some sightings in a certain area of the island, and we saw at least 30 turtles. It was amazing, just counting all of them. And while swimming at one point, I had one come right up close. So it really is just, yeah, just so full with activity. Um, well, I know I'll give Layla the opportunity to talk about the travel portal in a second, but I just want to share this photo of the sunset that I had on my last night in Baja. Um, I cannot describe. This photo does not do it justice. It was the most magical sunset I've seen in my life. The family that I traveled with as well, we were all in like tears. We were like, this is so beautiful. It really was this colorful. Um, the night before, beautiful as well, a little bit lighter colors, but this night just hit us with all of its force. And um, just to give everybody this context that yeah, it was just take it with a phone, and that's how beautiful it really is there. So I'll give Layla an opportunity to talk a little bit about the travel portal as a resource before we open it up to Q&As for everyone.
Yes, so as Lynn mentioned, this is a resource we have for all of our travelers, really for all of our trips, as you can see a little bit on the side. But it includes the itinerary that we could go over, flight information, and as I mentioned before, if you are an early arrival, what accommodations we recommend to stay at, um, just any documents you might need, vaccination shots, which are not required in Mexico, but we always recommend that you go to a travel doctor just in case. Packing list, what the weather may be like, many questions. For example, what are the toilets like during glamping? So things like that. Any pre-reading and videos that you might want to go over to get a little bit more acquainted with Baja and its history. So it has a lot of great information on there. But like I said previously, you can always give us a call and we'll answer any questions you have as well. But this is a wealth of knowledge as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely give anyone access to this if you are just also trying to make your decision and you need a little bit more resources. We can definitely send you the travel portal. I already see some great questions in the chat, and one of them is actually around the volunteer element of this trip. So I would love for you to speak to this, Brian, but I will preface it with that prior when I did this trip, we used to do a beach cleanup among some other activities, but we recently gave it a revamp in the itinerary that we're starting this season. So, Brian, could you speak to what the volunteer portion of this trip is?
Yeah, it's a really great program. It's with a group here called Effecto Arena, and what they do is they go to popular dive and snorkeling spots, and they collect coral fragments that have broken off, and they come back, and the activity that we get to do with them is to plant these coral fragments on these beds. So they have these PVC pipes, and you get this epoxy, and you take the piece, put it in the epoxy, and you screw it into the PVC pipe. And then once that PVC bed is full of the fragments, it goes to the nursery. And so we'll go and see the nursery, we'll do our piece, and then we'll snorkel out and see the nursery. And then once it's grown, they've grown for 6 months, then they go back and then they are actually put back on the coral reef. So everyone gets a chance to actually physically be engaged with restoring the coral reef around La Paz. And the other part that we have, you're talking about the beach cleanup with Mar Libre, and this is Pablo Abuja. And we will actually still be doing some of the beach cleanup with Pablo when we do the whale shark. So Pablo he started cleaning he's a scuba diver. So he and his diving buddy started cleaning the mangroves around La Paz, golly, I don't know, at least 10 years ago. And he is just a force of nature. And so we will go out with him and we will do some beach cleanup. And he likes to bring that connection in with the whale shark experience, just sort of explaining why it's so important that we have these clean areas and have these clean mangroves and the effect that it has on the wildlife and being able to see the whale sharks there. So, so Efecto Arena, Mar Libre, they are local conservation groups that are, you can't overstate the incredibly positive impact that they are having on the nature and the wildlife here. And in Discover Corps, we get to participate in that, so it's super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to see if I could even pull up a video of our time here. It doesn't look like the best quality, but the things that we found in the ocean was just insane. Like really large items, a drawer, everything. Um, but just such a reminder and having that experience before you go out to see the whale sharks and just realizing just how important it is that we are aware of like what we put in our oceans and how we can do our part in cleaning up. And also recognizing just how much work it is. You know, we were all out there, a bunch of us, we each gathered in 30, 45 minutes, a whole bag of garbage. And so, yeah, love the work that you do with zero waste as well. And I think it's very, very inspiring to um, kind of connect on all of these elements, you know, not just around conservation, but also around, you know, these little ways in which we can make a difference
Well,
in a short amount of time.
these are sort of our mantra here. It's upon us to keep it there for the next generation and keep it going, and we can set that precedent. So.
Yeah, no, amazing. Just looking at the other questions here. Somebody did ask, like, is there a rainy season? If so, when is it? I did already speak, Brian, to obviously the seasonality of our trips, but maybe you can speak to kind of what the weather is like outside of November through April, which is when we run
Right.
these trips.
So the Discover Tour Corps trips run November through April because the weather's essentially perfect then. It's just really it's beautiful weather. It may get windy, but that's going to be all. Every now and again in February, maybe we'll get a little bit of rain. But the rainy season, it's not really a rainy season. It rains generally in August and September. So Baja has the same hurricane season as the East Coast of the United States. So technically it starts in June and runs through November, but pretty much like the East Coast of the United States, if we're going to have a hurricane, it's going to be August, September at the latest, the first days of October. So that is all well done and dusted by the time we start the Discover Corps trips in November.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Somebody's just asking if they're somebody prone to seasickness, is this something they could do? How do you feel about that, Brian?
Well, I think that's an individual question. I think everyone has to answer those types of things for themselves. There are good home remedies, ginger cookies. You know, there are some things that you can do. I think you can speak with your doctor or speak with your witch doctor or whoever your go-to person is for these matters. You don't. There's the ride from the mainland to the island is 60 minutes. And then, you know, and we will be in the boat some of the time. So there are non-drowsy formulas for Dramamine and stuff like that. So I would encourage you to look for solutions because it's a big payoff, you know, to be able to be out there and be in nature and have that luxury of being under the stars. It's a big payoff. Having said that,
Yeah.
you really don't want to get sick and then just have to spend the rest of your vacation just laying in your tent. So, you know, yeah.
Absolutely. And just to speak to it from my perspective, I agree. I'm also somebody who's prone to like car sickness, seasickness. But with like simple meds, I was able to definitely manage it. The only day that I felt it a little bit was after the sea lions and getting back into the boat while we're just waiting before we take off, where it's kind of like moving a little bit. But other than that, I didn't experience it and didn't feel like I needed you know, to even take any medication. So it's obviously very personal question, like Brian said, and recommend that you consult, you know, um, yourself and your doctor and everything. But I think it's definitely possible. And payoff is definitely there. So somebody is also just asking about traveling alone. So I can speak to that. You know, we love our solo travelers. We definitely, you're a large demographic of who travel with us at Discover Corps. So absolutely, the only kind of consideration that you have to do is that there's usually a single room supplement fee that you would have to pay if you are just one person in a room. We do have a policy where if you're open to having a roommate, we can try to match you with one, of course, of the same gender. But that's something that we can talk about and see how you feel personally on a call, and we can go through what those costs associated would be. But absolutely, traveling as a solo, there's no problem. You're gonna have the same service, pick up and drop off at the airport, and be a part of the family that receives you with your guide and everything. So no worries on that front as well. You just see here, I think we're almost wrapping up here, everyone. Somebody did ask how many people does it take for this trip to go and at what dates are already. So I can get in touch with you if you want to speak to the dates and who's already in the trips. We have a lot of different departures, so it would take me a second to just go through and see what's the trips already shaping up. But our minimum to run number is 4. So yes, it's not that many. We do small group travel. I would say on average, our group sizes are usually 10 to 12 people. So just keep that in mind. But I know this particular person asking this question is an alumni of ours. So you know how to get in touch with us and be happy to chat with you regarding which trips are already set to go for the season. So wonderful. I don't know if there's any other questions that anyone wants to ask in the chat. If not, you can email us at info@Discover Corps after the call. I will be in touch with anyone that's been on this call already, though, with the recording and some more information, such as the travel portal and the itinerary. But it's been awesome having an opportunity to talk about Baja. It's a trip that I love when people ask me about, having been on it myself. So thank you, Brian, for joining us, and sorry for your brief power outage, but I'm happy that I got to speak more about my experience and share with everybody, despite you not being with us for a little bit there. But thank you again for taking the time out of your day to share your love for Baja and your experience for so long. You really are a pillar in the community, and I got to know that very quickly, even meeting people at shops and everything and telling people what I was doing there. Everybody seemed to know you and the amazing work that you do in Todos Santos. So thank you for everything that you do there. It means
Thank
a
you.
lot. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again, and we'll send you this recording. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.